Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra and see how this particular phone holds up in the later part of 2024. Now, the big thing I can definitely tell you when it comes down to this particular device is that probably for a lot of people, the hardware of these types of phones holds up so much better than the software as at this point. Now, what I mean by that is basically when you're taking a look at a Galaxy S20 Ultra, this type of device, right, it's a good phone, right? I like this phone a lot, but the problem we're going to be experiencing is that this phone is outdated with software, which is kind of a sad thing. But I like the S20 Ultra. I always felt like this phone looked beautiful, but it may not make the most amount of sense to buy anymore, and I'll explain that throughout this whole entire video. Number one, the exterior of this phone still looks and performs so well. 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED display. It's 120 Hz, 1400 nits of brightness, which was actually pretty good for a 2020 device. It's 1440p, and it looks amazing. You really genuinely can't get that wrong with a device like this, and it really is a really good looking device, and that's something I love about these types of phones. Hole punch display, 2 fingerprint sensor display, USB Type-C, and a micro SD card slot on this phone. This is one of those types of, I think this is the last Samsung Galaxy main flagship S series that had a micro SD card slot. So you were basically getting that inside of this device, which was genuinely amazing in and of itself. Now, on top of that, you're getting a standard glass back with kind of this like quadruple camera setup, which was another really cool thing going on for this phone as well. Wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, lots and lots of premiumness going on for this type of device. And I do think that's a really nice thing going on for this type of phone. Like if you're going to go through and like get a device, I genuinely think this is a very good option. And this is something that I love about this type of phone. So that definitely has held up very well. I've compared this phone against the Galaxy S24s, even the Z Fold Flip 6 or something that came out this year. I think I compared it to maybe slightly, and I was able to kind of see like with the Galaxy S20 Ultra, the hardware of this phone has held up fairly well. The performance is starting to kind of show its age. It's been showing its age for the last couple of years, but I think the main thing here is the software. This phone has basically been outdated with software since Android 13. Now, that's not the oldest version of software of all time, but that is kind of an issue that we're going to be experiencing because when it kind of comes down to it, Android 13 is what, like 3 or 4 years old now as at this point. So this phone has basically stopped getting software support, or it's like 2 versions behind or 3 versions. So we're kind of in this situation where it makes a lot more sense to go and get a phone that has a future ahead of it rather than getting an older phone that kind of had a good past but just doesn't have much of a future ahead of it. So that's a little bit of the issue that we're experiencing with the Galaxy S20 Ultra, right? With a phone like this, why would you want to go ahead and buy a phone that's already outdated? That means you're not getting any more features or anything like that. If you're going to use a different phone as like a developing device to make apps on, or just like a phone to play some games on here and there, then this is not a bad option. The display on this thing in and of itself is like a really good value. But the problem that we're experiencing is that it's just an outdated phone when it comes down to software. No more security updates, things like that. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to go and buy. I think the performance, it had that Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset with 12 to 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is insane. That was a really cool thing going on for this phone as well. But like I said, when it comes down to it, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense to go and buy this phone anymore. It had a big battery, had a lot of capability at the time, and it was easily one of the best phones ever at that moment. But I just don't think it makes a lot of sense because it's outdated with software. There's significantly better phones nowadays. I think even if you buy an S21 Ultra, that's a way better upgrade than getting something like an S20 Ultra, getting an S22 Ultra, S23, S24. Those are going to be giving you better experiences throughout every generation you go and upgrade to. But I think something like the Galaxy S20 Ultra, it's a great phone when it first came out, but it's just not a phone I'd recommend a majority of people to go and like buy now. So when it comes down to it, it's kind of what I'd say here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.